नीरज चोपड़ा एक ओलंपियन और एक प्राउड मसल प्लेस एथलीट। अपनी प्रोटीन की जरूरत के लिए भरोसा करता हूँ।
Sangeet sir, start the session.
Yes. Very good afternoon to all of you. We welcome our guest speaker, Architect Sangeet Sharma sir, our Professor Himmat Wadia ji, as well as all budding architects of third year at School of Architecture and Design at Lovely Professional University. My dear budding architects, Lovely School of Architecture and Design has been ranked 6th best institute in India, first in Punjab by Outlook iCare ranking 2021, and 12th NIRF ranking in India, and first in Punjab by the Higher Education of India. In an era of smart cities, sustainable buildings, and contemporary interiors, we train our students to become lateral thinkers by focusing on critical design approach with exposure to an international environment, access to latest tools, softwares, and technology. Our students become architects that create buildings and infrastructure that are globally acknowledged and globally recognized. So we can say that on the behalf of Lovely School of Architecture, we try to, as a faculty, as a HOD, our endeavor to, we try to inculcate our students to provide global attitude in local environment. So on hospital design and planning, you people are doing in your third year as a design project, and this is very important topic. So to enlighten more knowledge on this particular topic, we have very renowned architect of India, acclaimed, very renowned also at an international and global level. We have architect Sangeet Sharma sir. Sangeet Sharma sir is practicing architect in Chandigarh. He is a partner in SD Sharma and Associates, a well-known firm of the region, founded by his father SD Sharma and Associates, and eminent architect, very renowned architect, worked with Le Corbusier. Widely acknowledged and admired by architect Sangeet Sharma, commands an undisputed international rapport in the field of architecture education as well as architecture profession, having 35 years of experience and carrying forward the legacy. And whatever the Mr. Sharma learned from his father, very renowned architect, worked with Le Corbusier on Chandigarh project. Okay, he is we can say having the multi-talented, multi-faceted personality. He is also a poet, architectural critic, writer, artist, and author. He has authored Architecture, Life, and Me, published by Rupa and Company. And besides that one, architect Sangeet Sharma sir is the winner of 10 awards in architecture, awarded best sustainable projects, awarded best, and many more. So Sharma sir is also identified and delivered the talk as a speaker, TEDx talk on the topic building that sustain in NMIIS University, Hyderabad, and many more, achievement associated with our guest today, architect Sangeet Sharma sir, and authored of 5 books on architecture, architectural aesthetics, right? A step-by-step hospital designing and planning, Architecture, Life, and Me, Architalks, Corpse Capitol, and Castles in the Air. So these are some, achievement as the author of architect Sangeet Sharma. So my dear students, this is golden opportunity for you people to interact. First of all, attentively listen and grasp the particular knowledge to skill up the particular hospital design. Sir is also already authored one book that is in step by step hospital designing and planning, right? Publisher JP Publications. So we warm welcome once again our chief guest for today's session, Architect Sangeet Sharma sir. Sir, welcome sir, and over to you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you very much, Nagendra sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Very kind words. Thank you, Himad sir, and thank you the complete faculty. Thank you, students, for being there. And I will talk about hospital design. I will talk about in a very systematic way, which you people will understand, you will appreciate. I know that you people are doing your design problem now on hospital. Hospital design is slightly different from other genres, other types of buildings, because this contains services, and as a backbone, this contains the functions. It contains the patient, of course, but it also contains the paramedical staff. So too many things involved in this design. Too many things are a part of the whole genre. So what we will do is slowly हम इसके ऊपर बात करेंगे, and I will talk about my projects. I'll talk about the plans. Please make notes. Ask me any question you like. Full freedom. You can ask. You can stop me there, or you can at the end of it you can stop ask me. So we are going to just talk about the essential elements of hospital design. I'm going to share my screen. You can ask, you can stop me there, or at the end of it, you can stop. I want to share my screen.
Yes, sir. Coming, sir. Coming. Just click the slide, so sir.
Okay, sir.
ये विशाल सर, हाँ कुछ कॉल कर रहे थे सर.
Okay, everything fine?
सर क्लास नहीं है, वो संगीत सर का सेशन चल रहा है और मैं ही टेक्निकली संभाल रहा हूँ, तो कैसे करूँ बताओ सर.
Friends, first I will show you some images and talk about the basic things. Today we will talk about what are the essential things required in the hospital. Abhi we will not talk about the complete planning, planning. Uski हम बात नहीं करेंगे. Let us talk about what is essentially required in the hospital. पहले छोटी बातें करेंगे. So let me start like this. For example, there is a staff base and a multi-bed area. There is for example, a stores area, disposable area. So one essential area where medical staff, paramedical staff will come. First thing is they will change. So if people are entering from here, the first thing is there's a change area. Then you come inside the corridors, and then you enter into the lab area, utility areas. So they are the first entrance of all the visitors, the paramedical staff. On the left hand side, I'm just trying to show you some pictures of the lobby of one buildings, and this is the corridor area where there is ample space. Corridors in the hospitals must be about minimum 8 feet wide, or at least 7 feet 6 inches wide, because there are trolleys, there are stretchers moving around. So the norms are given in all the standards in my books. So this is just trying to tell you that how the planning in the hospital starts from a small element to the bigger element. We start in the hospital from micro to macro. Not that we make the whole plan first and the side plan and the box and then go inside. No, let us first, you have to divide the sections separately. For example, uh, this is the kind of an operation theater. Of course, we all know, we have seen, and we know the equipment. We have the very fantastic equipment these days. So, for example, this is a chart which says that operating department is here. It is attached to intensive care. Inpatients, see, for example, a person comes to the emergency. He goes to the inpatients. From there, you take him to the operating table. After the operation, he is rested in the ICU. From there is the diagnostic area where he is scanned, his MRI and other things are done and made sure that he is okay. The pathology comes in hand. Diagnostic, pathology, pharmacy, and sterile supplies, they all are serving the ICU and the operation theater. Now just imagine if this operation theater does not have all these areas attached to it, how will it function? It cannot function. So when you make an OT, is ensured that around it there is a feasibility of these people who can supply, who can come, who can take the samples, and it has to be in the similar same zone. This is important. So this chart is only trying to show you the facilities that are required along the intensive care unit, because they are the ones who are going to provide the the uh, uh, the required technology to investigate and to operate on the patient. Now let's see uh, what what is the kind of the bar chart, which is very interesting. That is a patient and there's a there's a client who wants to make a hospital, and then they appoint an architect. They want to make a good hospital, obviously. Now this is a complicated entity. I just told you that making of a hospital is a complicated entity in itself, because it is not as simple, because there are so many factors involved. I'm coming to it slowly. Uh, we are dealing with essentially a patient who is suffering from disease, or he's an accidental patient, or some other eminent emergent issues have come with the person. So you and I, the architects, are dealing with two important things: aesthetic and emotional needs of a patient. Now, when you are designing, you are not designing something, uh, a building like a museum, or a building like a hotel, which is only aesthetic, has got all the way it looks from outside. That's okay. It has to look nice. There is no question. But it is coming from inward to out. You come most of the times you're not able to conceive of form and then get into it. In all other types, typologies of buildings, there is a possibility that you have a form in mind, particularly if there is a hotel or if there is a museum of its kind, you can do this. In hospital, it is from inward to outward. I have only reached here aesthetic and emotional need of the patient. Now, in these things, there are efficiency involved, function involved, and economy involved. See, all said and done, we are planning a building for a client, and he is looking at all these three: efficiency, function, and economy. We all know efficiency has to be there because it's a hospital. And one thing good about any good hospital planning is the quickness of delivery of service. Come at a place, you take the patient in, there is all infrastructure, paramedical people come tend to him. If he's not feeling well, he gets the facilities of all the pathology, radiologies, and all these areas who come and immediately attend to him. So there is a chain. There is a chain reaction in the design of a hospital. That's what I'm coming to it. So यहाँ तक पहुंच गए. उसके बाद efficiency, function, and economy. From here, function takes care of fourth: privacy, interiors, and graphics. Privacy is very important because if the patient is already in trauma, he needs privacy, he needs protection. There may be a possibility that he's been badly hurt, or he's not in the state where he would like to, he doesn't want others to see him. So privacy is first thing. That's why the cordon of patient, when he comes inside the emergency or any such area, they put a screen so that he is not conscious that he's being watched. Privacy, interiors and graphics. Also, there has to be an element of interiors. Plan, it has to be planned. And most important is traffic. The traffic plan again arises from the features of the site plan. There has to be a permanent road which is entering straight away into the emergency. That's the first thing of your planning principle. Now you watch your designs. अगर आपने वो road दी है, which is coming straight to emergency, then it is a right first approach. There has to be a second entry, which comes to the basic entrance port. A patient who is in emergency has to be taken straight to emergency. It is one contained unit. Emergency area will be self-sufficient in terms of OTs, ICUs, pathologies, labs, infrastructure, all that is required. Emergency is like mini hospital, a mini hospital which is away from the main hospital, or in it, connected yet disconnected. The OPD areas, the main entry. Now this on your right is one of our buildings in PGI. This is an Pediatric Center. Now this is a ramp up which goes into the foyer, and it's very defined entry. Porch, everybody should know. There has to be very important, like in hotels, hospitals have a sense of direction. I hope you're writing these words. There's a sense of direction. You know where to go, you know what to do, and you are entering into the right place in the minimum time. The right place in the minimum time. This is why it is important to have right signage, right planning, and the infrastructure. I'm coming back again. I'm repeating. Function involves four things: privacy, interiors and graphics. When I say, it doesn't mean color combinations. It doesn't mean the aesthetics. It means graphics which display the signage, which talks about the direction. Because the patient is a patient, there are other people with him who are going to know where to go. They have to be directed. That is most important. So in a hospital, friends, more than the building part, It is the other elements in the interior which make an efficient. If your hospital is looking good, it's very good in perspective. And if it's not functioning well, then it's a wrong design. If we are in the jury, I would not look at the views first. I would like to see the function. I would like to see the planning. I'd like to see the traffic planning. I'd like to see the direction, signage, the interlinkage of all the functions. That is important. Please understand, we are designing for a patient, a person who may live or who may die. So we are concerned about person whose life is at stake. And that is important. Let us start from the what is right here, aesthetics and emotional needs of. So let us build our plan, our design based on these principles. Leave aside aesthetics as of now. So once these privacy, graphics, planning, traffic planning is done, let us come down to more planned system. The planning also incorporates the functions, all other functions and equipment. Please understand, the hospital design or any hospital is based on the equipment. Jitna better equipment hoga, utni better investigative process. So there is an area, whole floors are full of equipment. Hospitals are based on that. The function of a hospital is based on the placement of the equipment. When we design hospitals, when I myself, my team planned 3-4 hospitals in PGI Chandigarh. Then we planned a very major medical college and hospital in Coimbatore. We used to interact with the doctors. First, we used to ask कि आपका equipment कौन सा है, किस तरह का है, तो कितना उसको wattage चाहिए, what's the kind of flooring they would demand. So all these things are documented. Then it is designed in a system as directed by the user. It's not something I have given this. No. Let us think. As I said, we are going inward to outward. That is the kind of thing we are trying to plan. It's a different kind of planning. You have to be a little careful. Moving forward, friends, after the functions and equipments, it is the clinical areas. When a patient is diagnosed, then there are clinical areas where you have to take him to there are main public areas, emergency department, surgical areas, laboratory areas. These are clinical. Clinical means that they have to have least infection. Patients and attendants don't enter into these areas directly. They are guided. Jisko jahan pe jana hota hai, there are people who need help. So you can't enter into an emergency department straight away unless you're getting into an emergency area. You can't go from the OPD area. From OPD areas, the emergency areas have a connection, but they are not open. You can't go into the OPD area and bang into the emergency. No. You have to come to the emergency areas from the emergency entry itself. But of course, you can use the OPD areas afterwards. So there's a one-way exit between the very important, absolutely important area, how to plan your emergency areas first. If this diagram is understood, half of your planning is already done. I'm repeating it. For your benefit, I'm making it simple and I'm repeating it. Hospital design, we go inside the outside, small to big. First, you design your emergency. Place it directly with the approach from the ring road outside. Then you, as I said, that then other buildings is planned. There's an entrance foyer which is guided. There are areas, OPD areas. There is an interlink between all the systems, the surgical systems, emergency, the laboratories, inpatient. So everything is then combined. It's a fantastic but difficult effort to design a hospital. But let me not scare you. I'm just telling you the process to make things easier for you. After my talk, your planning must be very simplest. I mean, let me go front and I'll show some more. A hospital design, basically 4 issues: patient care, administration, diagnostic, and ancillary services. Again, very simple. I've given all these charts very clearly. They're also there in my book, but just understand it. Make a note, understand. Now, in administration, there is very tedious job. The best way to design a hospital is go and visit a hospital. आप कल go to any hospital, DMC, if you're in Ludhiana or Fortis Hospital, enter करते ही आपको लोग पकड़ लेंगे, पहले admit करवाओ. The admission is important. So administration में admitting, general administration, library, etc., account. So there is a जाते ही, no, I'm not talking about emergency, friends. उसके बारे में बात मैंने कर ली, खत्म. Emergency is a mini hospital in itself. अलग कर दिया उसको. Separate approach, separate entity, everything which a patient needs is given there in a small quantity. Now coming to the main hospital, there has to be administration straight away. You can have to admit your patient. There are ancillary services which are little away from the main foyer. Mortuary है, cafeteria है. हमारे देश में एक patient के साथ 4 attendants आते हैं. It's only in our country this system happens. It never happens abroad. Abroad, you go to the administration, check in, and then you are out, and then the nursing care will take you over. This is in the Fortis, in Max, these things are have started, but you have to have faith. You have to have faith in the kind of system, but it's slowly developed. So relative area is very important. In PGI, it's a government sector. वहाँ पे ज़्यादा you can't say कि ऐसा ना करो वैसा ना करो. Patient आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, patient को रखने की जगह दे देंगे. It's a very very important small area कि relative के साथ patient अगर आते हैं वो रात कहाँ रुकेंगे. I'm coming to the rooms. Planning of the rooms where which take place is a provision for the attendant to sleep. So in our culture, there has to be one attendant, particularly in the government sector. In private sector, in Apollo, in Max, you may not need, but there's a kind of satisfaction which our culture has. So there's one attendant always. ना भी खाना मिलता होगा वो नहीं खाते, घर से खाना लाके अपने पेशेंट को देते हैं. It's a kind of, it's a mindset, it's a culture, nothing wrong in it. Our emotional bonds of the families are different, so you cater to them. Coming back, mortuary, cafeteria, relatives area, shops वगैरह, pharmaceutical, ये एक area हो गया. Next is patient care. Immediately OPD, IPD, ED, सब patient care का वहीं पे आता है. Now imagine yourself, and then there is diagnostic. Imagine yourself or your plan. अगर आप plan अपने सामने खोला हुआ है, you enter into your hospital, your own plan. I want to be guided into these 4 directions. I move. Somebody must tell me कि यार entry कहाँ करानी है, फिर OPD कहाँ पे है, diagnostic कहाँ पे है, ancillary तो चलो होता रहेगा. So you immediately from your foyer, you are guided and it's all there. You can't hide behind वो उस तरफ जाके है, वो उस तरफ जाके है. There is, design has to be such that you are immediately approachable. Approach is the word which you must use once you enter into your foyer. Either administration, either OPDs, either diagnostic, because you are going to need all this immediately. If you made a note, okay. Now, this is a kind of, an area which is consultation room and office processing records and diagnostic center has. So, I mean, this is just a plan showing you कि कितना complicated हो सकता है एक diagnostic area को डिजाइन कर, कितना complicated हो सकता है ICU को डिजाइन करना, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव को डिजाइन करना और उनको फिर कंबाइन करना, उनको इंटरलिंक करना. सो एवरी एलिमेंट या एवरी पॉइंट इन अ हॉस्पिटल इज अ हॉस्पिटल इन इटसेल्फ. उनको पहले एक एक को तिनका जोड़ के फिर उसको सारे को एक होल कर. What I'm trying to say is you have to be careful in minute planning, inward to outward. Let me go further. You will enjoy this. This picture is showing you. I'm showing you the photographs ताकि आपको clarity हो जाए. Not talking of plans. Plans में समझ नहीं आती है. So just see friends. ICU में है. ये सारी piping, सारी systems are exposed. They are color coded. If blue is oxygen, the other are gas, gases which are coming from gas banks. There is air conditions with hyperfilters. There's a beautiful जो भी color है, soothing color है. Then there are curtains for the privacy. So एक basic अगर मैं एक ICU आपको दिखाऊं patient care के लिए, तो ये कुछ इस तरह. Management of services is very important. Building design of hospital and hotels, laboratories, they are service oriented. जिसके building के साथ services अच्छे planned हैं, तो वो चलेगा. Otherwise, it won't function. Your services run the show. All other things are important, but they're secondary. Now let's see this. Hospital classification. According to the level of care, it's primary, secondary, tertiary. So I think as far as your problem which is given, I think it is tertiary care. It is 200-bedded hospital, which Nagendra sir told me. And this super specialty medical colleges. This is the sequence of the type of hospitals you need to design. What change? What does it change? It changes A, the capacity of the beds. B, it changes the services it requires. C, it changes the teaching areas. Per specialty and medical college is one unit. I can't give medical college and primary hospital. It's not possible. To run a medical college, I need 700 or 1,000 beds because for every student, there has to have a bed on which he will do the research. So there is a proportion. Itne beds, itne students. Itne beds, itne students. So the super specialty hospitals are merged with the medical. Anyway, this is according to the level of care. You have these 3-4 kind of hospitals. According to ownership, that is my decision. If I'm a doctor, I can have a clinic, have a polyclinic, nursing home, or big hospital. Now let's see. Like any other buildings, also hospitals may corridors play a very important role. Imagine their size, their width are equally important. Please read the norms. No corridor must be lesser than 7 feet or 7 feet 6 inches. You can't have any column in between. They have to be absolutely obstruction free. This is a clean corridor. Clean means once you enter into the zone, air-conditioned zone, sterile zone, no other person can enter, but only the person who's desired to be inside, because it catches bacteria. The sterile area, once you enter, you will have a clean corridor. OPD areas, you will have a dirty corridor. The corridor from which all the excessive material, extra material, bandages, and other things are taken from the operation theaters don't come from the clean corridor, go from the dirty corridor. So there is a continuity of corridors on both the sides. Amazing planning. Once you will learn, एक बार समझ जाओगे, it becomes very easy. But abhi I'm trying to tell you that every small component is a design in itself and interlink. I'll show you the plans, friends. Relax. I'll show you the plans. You understand कि इतना भी complicated नहीं है, लेकिन ध्यान करना पड़ेगा आपको. Otherwise, you lose every small thing you lose in hospital. Patient, as simple as that. So, for example, there's a bed trolley area, a recovery area is there. There's a clean utility where there are clean pans, clean bandages, clean bed sheets kept here. There's a dirty utility where there are all the linen, etc. is stored here. Now imagine if you don't have clean utility, dirty utility, any strict person who is viewing your design can fail you, because you can't keep dirty things in clean utility. It's full of infection. It's full of infection. So you are segregating. You're taking care of a patient कि उसको infection ना हो जाए. कितना responsibility wala kaam, hospital design, in any design for an architect. But hospital design is any wrong thing can destroy my patient. Now here, theater superintendent, he has to be around to supervise reception area. Now you enter here into the clean area, is the reception area. You make the stretcher wait, and then the theater superintendent will say, okay. Then you go to the recovery area. So there is a typical circulation diagram. There's a system to which you will attend every area. Now, friends, this is one of my buildings in PGI. This is a Pediatric Center. Now, these are government buildings, but still you can see that there is no artificial lighting on. ये तो गवर्नमेंट बिल्डिंग में सब वो बत्तियां जग रही हैं, बुरा हाल है. इसमें कोई ग्रेनाइट इस तरह की चीजें यूज नहीं की हैं, because we are answerable to this. Natural light is coming, the diffuse light which is coming, and there is a corridors which are non-air conditioned at this time. So you enter here, there is a receptions areas, there is skylights, there's a lot of freedom that you are not claustrophobic. You are there, you can decide at the you are in a panic. Remember one thing, people entering into your hospital panic. उनको तुरंत डायरेक्शन देना है, उनको इमीडिएट बताना पड़ेगा where you want to go, how you want to go. There has to be signage होने के बावजूद हिंदुस्तान में लोग खो जाते हैं. There has to be very efficient planning, the first planning when you enter into the lobby. Now, main entrance, उसमें outpatients भी आएंगे, inpatients भी होंगे, emergency वाले भी होंगे, services होंगे. It has to have a proper circulation, and there is something called patient protection. Shortest routes to the areas where you want to go. Separation of distributor activities, control and monitoring. More than I've told you about these circulation diagrams. Now we will attack the actual plan so that you are not confused or scared of planning. There's nothing to be scared about. I'm only trying to guide you how to make a planning. This is a huge reception area in my pediatric ward, pediatric hospital in PGI. And I've given the motifs here of animals and other things because children who are sick are going to come here. First impression I'm going to make is make them very comfortable. On your right is an ICU beds, emergency beds which are there. You can see the services which are coming open. There's equipment lying here, the beds. This also I have already explained to you. Now this is the diagnostic area. अब इसमें थोड़ा सा accident and emergency में जब आते हैं, you have when you enter into the emergency area, you need all these facilities instantly. Inpatients हैं, operating department है, उसके बाद ICU में डाल देंगे उसको, coronary care center, pathology में जो test होते जाएंगे, diagnostic हो जाएगा. All these things are part of the emergency. Now, friends, you must know these words. अब pathology अगर आपको नहीं पता उसमें क्या होता है, tests होते हैं, or tests take place. You can't be, writing here area for testing blood. So you have to use correct terminology in terms of hospital design. Be careful. अगर inpatients हैं तो don't write outpatients. The inpatients are the ones which are going to be admitted. They are the ones who are going to be admitted inside or taken inside for an operation. Outpatients are the people who are going to show themselves in OPD and they're going to be out. Carefully learn the terminology. In this diagram, for example, you're coming to the lobby and then there is an area which is dressing areas, and I have this better in the next slide. I'll show you. What may be important in hospital design is a good treatment. Of course, we need good doctors, good hospitals, avoid a sterile look. I have only spoken about sterile interiors, but outside, try to avoid the sterile look or with the patient and get a little alarmed. Now, this is the kind of storage which is normally there in the hospitals. It has to be very quick. It has to be very planned. So, also when the equipment's entry to the services is different, friends. Entry to the gases is different. Entry to the emergency is different. And entry for normal OPD, outpatient departments is different. There are a lot of entry and exit planes which happen in hospitals. Let's talk about the services which are required. This is mechanical engineering with air conditioning. We need for civil works. There is water, plumbing, drainage, sanitation, environmental hygiene. There is, of course, illumination. There is electrical engineering. So almost, a lot of people ask me, so what is the cost difference between the civil and the services? In a hospital, it is almost 50-50. 50% of your money is spent on the services. That's why I said hospitals, hotels, little less, laboratories, slightly more less, but they are service-oriented buildings. Now, this is the kind of foyer, nicely lit, illuminated foyer, which is required in your OPD particularly, because a lot of people are going to sit. There must be adequate distance, adequate lighting, adequate signage, right kind of air conditioning system for a foyer. So right from the foyer OPD sitting area, your planning is exposed. You are exposed as to how much you know about hospital design straight from the lobby area. This is a kind of focal functioning. For example, a kind of a nursing unit where there are beds and there is a central, there is a nursing area. So nursing station, so kind of things, 100 kind of things you can do. But the question is that you have to have services like this who is guiding always. And in terms of COVID now, the things have to be, first this platform was open, now it is shielded with glass. So now with pandemic and COVID, you have to be more careful how much of least exposure you are giving to the visitor, to the patient. If somebody is asking a question at the reception, it must be shielded. So you have to be careful about small. Of course, at your level at third year, I'm not looking at something very, very highly, intricate kind of a design, but it has to be correct design. When these are some of the buildings which we designed, like Advanced Eye Care Center. This is a pediatric center. I showed you this foyer, friends. Dekha aapne. There's a bridge on top of it. There is lights coming in. There is an area for paramedical staff. Ab kahan se the paramedical staff will come? Will they be coming from the patient area, or there is a separate corridor for the nurses and paramedical to come? Because they have to come, they have not to be obstructed. They can't be stopped here and there. So there's a very beautiful facilities you can design for their movement. Because it all depends on the kind of you're making, the kind of area you have, the kind of the size of hospital. But I'm giving you the right advice as to how the paramedical must move. And now see this building, advanced the pediatric center. These are the corridors that we designed where the paramedical movement takes place. So from inside, if there are patients sitting here, hundreds of patients in a BGI, they don't cut across them. They have to provide instant services, equipment leke aana hai, bandages leke aani hai, movement hai uski. So all this is done from, of course, there's a lot of aesthetics involved. This is a paramedical corridor. If you're planning an eye care center, there is least looking out, because eye care means you don't need windows much because it has to be dark. This is a beautiful hospital designed in PGI. It's eye care, which is of international standards. This is an OPD area in PGI. Again, I'll show you the further planning of it slowly. Now, for example, don't think it's as a pediatric a hospital. Just see it as a normal hospital. Now, site planning mein, this is how this is placed. Central foyer area. ये इसकी reception है. This one. You enter here. There is a corridor here, and there are 4 basic elements of the hospital which I told you on the third slide: diagnostic areas, OPD areas, ward areas, and beds. So you are guided and you go into that particular zone. There's a ramp here. So this is a kind of a thing which you go into it, and this is an emergency area. You see these wings, flowing wings. This is the corridor, but see the amount of services, the weight it is being taken. Now this is the kind of plan. Enter here. You are in the central foyer, reception areas. Then there is services at every block, lift, staircases, based on your design, based on your capacity. You enter here, there are rooms, and there's open skylight in this for the light in this area. So it all depends. If this is OPD, then there are rooms of OPD. There is diagnostic areas. So wo karte hum log, we are dividing our planning into various wings, but it is all interconnected. It is all interconnected. Privacy bhi hai, connection bhi. That's the catch in a hospital. You're seeing the elevations. You cannot lose the uh, thought that you're an architect. Buildings have to look good. कोई शक की बात नहीं. And that's how it goes. Now, all these blocks, A, B, C, D blocks, is mentioned here. These are lab areas. This is the, you know, AHUs and what kind of facilities are we providing. So if you go into the details, there is ducts, shafts, very important. I don't know if you're planning a high rise, please ensure there are ducts, there are shafts. See this? Ducts, shafts for carrying services. How do you carry services? Students forget provide areas how to carry services. भूल जाते हैं services वहां से ऊपर भी जानी है. So always keep your plan in front of you and move. You move, and then you realize, arey yeah, there's a problem here. There's a problem. You will see the problem yourself. Getting into more details, friends. If you ever visit a hospital and visit its service area, visit its basement, you'll be shocked. How huge equipments are there. At your level, I don't know whether you have. I'm not asking you to design such elaborate services, but please see more than seeing a hospital interior, see the service. You realize how important it is. These are the kind of ducts which run all through. Need space for all through in the interiors for the ducts run through it. You need this kind of equipments. The medical and shops are there. So a lot of planning is involved, even in the service area, in the basement. So I don't know if you have a basement in your design. It is a good idea to give a basement because वहाँ पे सारी services होंगी, वहाँ पे सारी ancillary shops होंगी, maintenance areas होंगे, engineering areas होंगे. So providing a basement, be careful कि ramp कहाँ से movement है उसकी approach to parking कैसे है, कैसे उसका exit है. So this kind of things which you have to be very carefully design. If I take one block, suppose I take one block, and then I know that there's a corridor here. There's a waiting areas in front of every OPD. There's a waiting area which is common, and then there's a waiting area in front of every OPD, small. Visit these buildings if you can in PGI. You learn best in architecture by moving around and looking at the buildings than from the books. Small detail. ऊपर से सर्विस आ रही है, कैसे इसको enclose किया हुआ है, how the rainwater will come out. Beautiful all this. See this cantilever areas and how the effect of the scigraphy, the sustainability is there. It's all self-explanatory. Interiors, false ceiling, the courtyards are all, well kept. They're landscaped so that you are engaging the patient. Again, I showed you the large waiting area, the smaller waiting area in front of the department. Kind of skylights which you use. These are all architectural features which are there after you have prepared your basic interior planning, functional planning, inside. Then there is a flooring patterns, there is the cantilever area, the structure system is very important. Of structure system, if you're going to give columns in your waiting areas, you're going to give columns in your corridors, it's not acceptable. You're going to give columns in operation theaters? No. Are you going to give columns in ICU's areas? No. So there has to be a systematic grid. There has to be a planning that columns are coming in the walls or they're coming in the areas which are non-obstructive. So you can't place your system at random. वो नहीं हो सकता. Careful. अभी से ही अगर आप ध्यान दोगे, will turn out into better architects. You grow up. This is the kind of the ramp which is going down for the parking. It is covered. See these areas which is going down into the basement. Lift areas, कितनी lifts हैं, कितने size की lift है, कितने passengers हैं. Very important. Remember, these are stretcher lift. You have to have a stretcher lift. You have to have a passenger lift. So, 2 देनी है, 4 देनी है. It all depends on your design and your kind of hospital you're designing. But I think minimum 4 lifts are required along with stairs. Don't forget the fire escapes, friends. Fire escape किस तरह की है आजकल जब हमने बनाया था, it's almost about 10-15 years old. Now the fire norms are more stricter. Careful when you design. But this is a kind of oval duct which you used at the corners. Some major pictures. All these are services. Eye care center mein. See, I said inside to outside. Outside also must be beautiful. Outside must be, we are designing in Chandigarh. So I have to design in concrete, close concrete and bricks, but it's beautiful. The spectral system, long columns, the skylights, basic plan. Now see this, it's a fire escape made in the center because this distance vis-a-vis this distance have to have in such a way that you need a fire escape. So there's a common fire escape, but it blends as a part of the elevator. You be careful when you are designing the thing. And this is OPD. Now in an OPD, you need to have services, you need to have a big porch because ambulances will come, a lot of people come. 4,000 patients come to OPD PGI Chandigarh every day. Every day. This is the kind of, these are service ducts which are going up and down. Of porch. I showed you this picture before also. Wide open areas to sit. Careful, the guidance, social guidance, long platforms for services. This is the most modern building which I designed in Coimbatore. It's a 750-bedded hospital for medical college. If I explain you on the model, friends, this is kind of a conference area, huge, and in inpatient area, who enter here and they register themselves here. Then they go inside slowly, and this is the kind of rooms which have been allocated. This being in Coimbatore and a private hospital, it's non-air conditioned because there's a lot of breeze there. So climatology is playing a very important role. Careful where you're designing. So this is diagnostic area, and this is the area where they have beds. So this is the inpatient area where patients are lodged. And this is the diagnostic area where this is kind of an OPD. Very different design we did outside. We gave a lot big area for the relatives to sit rather than they scattering here on the corridors, on the roads. Give them beautiful area. Fire escapes are all there. You can see this huge road here and a huge waiting area. Waiting area also is equally planned. This is the conference room, huge conferencing area, which is connected. You see this skylights. The skylights also are raised so that for cross ventilation. Please be careful when you have to provide ramps. There have to be handrails. Careful for the disabled friendly hospital you have to design. Don't miss out on all these things. They're basics. Now this is the kind of site plan I'm trying to show you. This is different feature because this is an old hospital, so it has to be linked with this tube here. And this you come here like this entrance, you drop a patient here. There's a whole waiting area. So the relatives are outside, the patient goes inside. OPD is here, and IPD is here. Inpatient, proper DV. So this is the kind of thing which is it's a teaching hospital, friends, and there's a faculty block with a link here. So the requirement of a medical college hospitals are slightly different, but principles remain the same. Nothing changes. If I just try to show you the ground floor, main entrance, big foyer, lifts, सबसे पहले service area, सबसे पहले, उसके बाद registration area. Immediate. I'm standing here, I'm looking at this. Then there is departments, radiology, most important. First thing they will ask you to get this tested, get blood test, this, that, radiology. One department here, but don't miss out on all these blue areas which are services, fire escapes, services, big registration. I'm nahi hai. Big registration, billing areas. You don't give bills at the registration. You are registering a patient here. Afterwards, you bill here. So there is also something called insurance area these days. Everybody is insured. So there has to be separate areas for these things. Think this. Then you enter here. Then there is a passage for the inpatients. If they feel, if an orthopedic person, these are the rooms for the doctors. There's a small waiting area here also, a large waiting area here also, and here also. The first floor again, I come up through the services, departments, different departments. Here there are now the paramedical, all these areas are which are going to serve to the beds, to the ward areas. Usme there are dirty utility, clean utility, injection areas, storage, medical storage, nursing station, nursing change, doctors change, वो सब यहाँ पे आएगा. Then you enter into the ward area. Imagine how much a person has to, a doctor or nursing staff needs one patient lying here. उसको serve करने के लिए कितनी चीजें चाहिए होती हैं, so that he is good, is well, and is alive. Well, these are constant. A lot of things which you will design, friends, has to be constant. एक के ऊपर एक. Toilet areas, एक के ऊपर एक. Services, एक के ऊपर एक. Staircases, lifts, there's all repetition. So once you decide on these areas, the rest is all interior. So you have to have great interlinking between all these service areas, great interlinking between the OPDs, and correct passage into the IPD area. Now, on this is the conference room. Third floor, again similarly, departments, facilities, departments, facilities, different colors are indicating departments. We kept operation theaters on the top because we don't want normal people, normal public to enter. Secondly, all the services are catered individually from the top. See, it is more sterile. Bacteria, less the people enter, the better. All these are operation theaters, but to assist the operations, the paramedical areas are. So given these three skylights, a lot of air ventilation, which is constant, all services constant, a typical block kind of a plan. So if you want to see that how the plan translates into building look and this model. This is a small hospital, 200-bed hospital, Agra. I've told you, I've taught you enough. You will not go wrong. The basement floor, just see full basement. With services, administration area, auditoriums, basic hall, cafeteria, kitchens, all is here. Ground floor, enter, and I have all this services areas. I have waiting areas, OPDs. So there is every nook and corner which is planned, proper plan. This is the ward areas. With ward areas, you have services, you have shafts, you have ducts on the sides, services to bring. You have areas for services. You have staircases. You have lifts, and they're confined. They are in an area which is confined. There are private bedrooms, there are private wards, so they have an attached toilet, and this area becomes like a hotel. Design them like a hotel. So it's a kind of a link between designing of a hotel, laboratory, and hospital. So the first floor again, laboratories, doctors' areas, OPDs, ward areas. Every floor is a ward, but every floor there's a ward area, but the ward area is segregated. You're seeing, as I said, services are repeated. The more there is repetition in your plans, the more efficient will be your plan. More or less, you will see the ground floor, first floor, second floor. It's almost the same. We want you to be repetitive in terms of vertical circulation, fire escapes, ducts, toilets, ancillary works, utilities, gas banks. We want them to come straight up, straight down, without obstruction. That's very important. Look at this. Ward area. Ward area. Theater. Height of the operation theater, friends, is larger than the normal floors. Careful, क्योंकि ऊपर से equipment यहाँ पे hang होता है, lights होती हैं, hyper filters होते हैं. वैसे भी height, floor to floor height, higher than the normal floors. sun, air, greenery. But friends, all is architecture. I'm talking about services, I'm talking about function. Yes, I am. But at the end of the day, it better be good looking building. That is what is important. This is a book which I've written. It's available on Kindle, Amazon. Very hot selling book, very small book, just about 400 rupees, but it's very hot selling. All these things which I've told you, it's already there on this. I'm doing revisions also. Anyway, and I thank you very much. And I thank you all for your patient listening. And thank you, LPU, for this opportunity. And any questions you have, I'm open to it. Thank you.
Hello, students. If you do have any kind of question, please ask.
Don't worry about small question, big question, bad question, bad question. Just ask.
Thank you very much for wonderful presentation, sir.
Thank you.
We are hoping that a student will understand whatever the explanation given by you, sir. And even if I got the call from our faculty also asking about that ask to sir for the presentation, but sir presentation is super duper in all respect. Thank you very much, sir.
I try to make life very easy.
Now Himmat sir.
Yeah, I would like student also to ask
Yes,
question.
yes, interaction.
Yeah.
So a student, hello. All budding architects, if possible, please on your video. Switch on your video. Switch on your video. If you want to interact, if you have any question.
Parminder has come question. Please, Parminder,
yeah,
please ask.
Parminder Jit Singh.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Nagendra sir. Good afternoon, Sangeet sir.
Video on नहीं कर सकते Parminder?
No, sir.
Okay, okay.
Continue.
Sir, the doubt I'm having, sir, in the last hospital you explained, the Agra one, 200 bedded. Sir, in that plan, I have seen that most of the area you have used walls as load-bearing walls. So, sir, while planning, there are two things. We consider frame, bone and skin structure while designing, that we will just make a frame of column beams, and after that we will think that we have to plan rooms and that all areas. And in that Agra one hospital, you have designed in such a way that you consider wall as load bearing. So I just want to know the difference, and I just want to know the key aspects what we should consider while designing both, in both terms.
Good. So, Parminder, very good.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
When I have to segregate two main divisions of areas, problem is it has to be bacteria free. ठीक है ना? Or most of the walls which are in different departments have to be load bearing. Otherwise, वो normal partition से segregation नहीं होता. एक एक्सरे रूम है, पैथोलॉजी लैब है, ओटी है, इसके बीच में एक मेन वॉल तो लोड बेरिंग होनी पड़ती है. उसके अंदर जो वॉल्स हैं, they can be different, they can be lightweight, but essentially when I divide the facilities, functions, they have to be divided in a more stronger walls. Number one. Number two, a lot of services come on the walls. अगर मेरी walls जो हैं कुछ thin हैं या उस तरह की हैं which cannot take the load, वो possible नहीं होता. A lot of my services come on the wall and sometimes in the wall also, and both the sides. So we try to make at least 4.5 inches wall between the partitions, essential partitions, but departmental partitions, so that I can cater to soundproofness, I can cater to the cleanliness, and I can provide service. So it all depends on your plan. आप अपने plan में देख लो, जो major divisions हैं, वो बड़ी वाली walls होंगी, जो अंदर वाली होंगी, they will be thin walls. That's okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
God bless. God bless you.
Any
other
question from our faculty side also?
Yes, sir.
If any faculty have already, faculty have joined, Ravinder ma'am and some other faculty who have joined, you will also ask the question. Reason is that you are the faculty of that architectural design project.
First of all, good afternoon, sir. Sangeet sir, good afternoon. Myself, Raminder Kaur.
Hello,
First
ma'am.
of
How
all,
are you?
fine, thank you, sir. I want to thank you for such a wonderful presentation. And I think I don't have
Good.
query right now, but I can ask n number of, because the way you have explained, these all factors were told by us also, but not in that way, as you're having experience. So very good lecture on
Thank
personal
you.
ground. I have listened all the parts. So students, I encourage if anyone is having any query, so please welcome. Otherwise, thank you, sir. Thank you, Nagendra, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
A student, Ursula, Naman Chan. Yeah. If any question in track.
I hope
Yes.
everyone understood everything. The way
Yes.
everything is explained step by step. I hope
Okay.
everyone understood. That's why they are out of question.
Yeah. No.
That's what I hope so.
So
It's
I
not
have
very.
a question.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful. Sheila, please.
Like when you design hospitals, like what is your first approach like towards the concept of the concept of your hospitals? How do you come up with those?
I think, Ursula, I started with that. I mean, I like to divide my site plan into various zones. That is most important. I would not enter into the plan straight away. Ye yahan pe hai, ye facility idhar hai. I like plan. I could divide my site plan into zones: emergency zone, entry exit points, ramps, service roads, outer ring roads. That's how I first do that. I personally, then I enter into the building, and then I go in and divide into bubbles, into zone where ye OPD hoga, ye diagnostic hoga. So a lot of bubble diagrams are to be made before you actually start drafting. Shalla? So you have to make your mind very clear. Only then you'll be able to explain to your jury, and you will be able to make a place very beautiful, congenial for your patient. Because at the end of it, you're designing for your patient. ना मेरे लिए, ना सर के लिए, ना मैम के लिए. अगर आपका patient उसके अंदर perfect होगा, full marks to you, and that you can judge yourself.
Right, sir. Right.
Divide it into various zones.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
That's
Sir,
it.
one question came from Naman Jain
Yes.
on chat box. He's asking for how to make a hospital sustainable.
Naman, you are here or not?
Naman is here. He is just written.
Naman, you will directly interact.
How to make
Might
our
have some
hospital more
connection issue, sir.
sustainable.
Mic issue
Okay,
is there, I
maybe.
think.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
How to make our hospital more sustainable with good planning? Yeah, this is the question, sir.
उसके लिए एक separate एक lecture लेना पड़ेगा.
Right.
Our PSG hospital is a 4-star Griha hospital, and talking in terms of, let us talk of basic sustainability. अभी हम लोग Griha lead इस तरह की बातों पे नहीं हम जाते at your level, होना भी नहीं चाहिए. Let us talk of basic sustainability: water recharge, water harvesting wells, solar power, solar energy, clean air, ventilation, light, greenery, freedom of breathe. इनकी बातें करो बस आप. This is the sustainability at your level. यही चीजें into 2 होके 5th year के बाद आ जाती हैं, और यही चीजें into 5 होके हमारे प्रोफेशन में आ जाती हैं, which becomes labeled as Griha, green, etc. But all these things are basic, even in the topmost of Griha and lead considerations. चीजें वही रहती हैं, सारी उम्र वही रहती हैं. Think of basic sustainability, basic living habitat standards, and you can achieve a very beautiful hospital. Okay.
Sir, just to add on, I think in your examples, the lighting, the way the lighting has been done in your projects, That is
Yeah.
the best way you can do the sustainable aspect. So student,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
is what you're supposed to look. Sir has given all the answers in his presentation only. So that was the, I think,
Yes.
most sustainable part.
That's right, ma'am. It has to be least consumption of electricity, least consumption of air conditioning wherever required, and glass has to be very minimal. Glass has to be used intelligent way. I can't put glass on southwest area जहाँ से heat बहुत ज़्यादा आ जाएगी. We have to plan in such a way कि southwest area में हम लोग उस तरह की चीज लगाएं which is blocking my sun. So rather than I'm giving fires in that area. So these are all normal climatology वो तरीके से go site plan with your north point. Never miss the north point. That half the planning is done with the north point. उसके हिसाब से planning करोगे, sustainable building automatic बनती जाती है.
Right, sir.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Avinash.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon, Ji.
Sir, when you showed your plans, so you showed us the basement plans. So you showed us the services in the basement. So in case if it is a bigger hospital, so how will you incorporate both the services as well as the parking in the basement?
You have to. उसमें तो कोई दो राय नहीं है अविनाश. अगर if the requirement as per the norms of your area require that 50 cars have to be provided in the basement, you have to provide. नक्शे पास ही नहीं होंगे आपके. You have to segregate your area in such a way that on the left there is a service area, on the right there is a parking area with a proper ramp which goes down and comes up. So the traffic planning has to be very important.
Okay.
You have to do it. There is no way.
Okay.
एक मैं आपको राज बता सकता हूँ. कुछ अगर आपको पार्किंग की जगह कम पड़ रही है, तो some areas in the basement services can be taken on the rooftop. Rooftop पे हम services लेके जा सकते हैं. In my PSG planning, I took half the things on the rooftop, so I can give more area for parking. If there is large basement, then I can use the basement. Essentially जो है आजकल basement के अंदर कम services लेके जाते हैं हम लोग, but otherwise you can take it on the rooftop or outside on the site plan. But
Okay.
basic जो है electrical panel rooms हैं अंदर ही आने चाहिए, maintenance office अंदर आने चाहिए, these kind of things have to be inside. Otherwise, gas banks, generator sets, AHUs area, they can be on the rooftop and here and there, but they have to be provided. So पहले parking, फिर services. उल्टा नहीं चलना.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
God bless.
Any other question?
Rakesh Nayak. Rakesh Nayak.
Hospital design, Naman is asking,
Yeah.
design
What type of planning is good, vertical or horizontal?
Now here your local norms will come into play. आप जहाँ design कर रहे हैं, if the FAR is more and you can go higher, it is always better. If we make a multi-story, you save on services. Your services will be common. There is more area for parking, landscape, porch areas. It's always better to make a little high-rise building and leave all other areas for essential areas. Gardening, landscape, surface parking, ramps, ये सारे आते हैं, तो it's always a good idea. If you have a very large area, say for 20 acres or 30 acres, then you can decide on giving a horizontal block. But normally horizontal block में the cost of foundations and services will be more. You want to economize on your planning, try to go vertical systematically.
I think one more question. Rakesh Nayak have written. Rakesh,
Yes.
you are here. Rakesh Nayak.
Govind sir, पूछो उसका question.
Rakesh Nayak have written, sir. Sir, how can we blend parametric design with proper planning in a hospital?
Parametric design is essentially for your externals, for your look and feel. तो उसमें इंटीरियर तो सेम ही होगा. पैरामेट्रिक्स के साथ आप सिर्फ उसकी जो नेचर ऑफ द लुक है दैट यू विल चेंज. बट हॉस्पिटल्स में अंदर जो है देयर इज नो parametrics work in terms of interior planning in hospitals. They all have to be systematic, all have to be as per diagrams, all have to be channeled. And so outside parametrics में आपने कुछ करना है, you're also welcome to do it. It all is on your hands. You're an architect.
Himmat sir, any more question?
Hospital is like a machine. That's what I say.
Yes, sir.
If one part of machine is loose, then
Yes.
the entire machine will not function.
Absolutely.
Yes,
sir.
So
Exactly right.
we have to take care of each and every nuts and parts of a machine. That's why we have to take care of hospital also.
Correct, sir.
So aesthetic is the one thing that we have to implement because we are the architects. We cannot get away from the aesthetics. And that will be very pleasing to eye also. And that will invite you in also. Yeah.
Sir, बहुत अच्छा
Absolutely
बता.
right, sir.
I mean, but
Very nice.
functionally, we cannot get away from all this. Yeah.
बिल्कुल. Absolutely.
So any other question from any of the
Yes, I can
students?
see.
Arundeep?
Good afternoon,
Kesan.
sir.
One more question. Yeah, please. Rakesh Nayak.
Please, Rakesh.
Sir, जैसे कि सर आपने बोला parametric design affects the exterior form. So sir, does the form any of the forms affects the interior planning of any of the building?
राकेश, अगर फॉर्म उस तरह की है which is unsustainable, it is taking too much of glass, or if it is taking too much of light on the wrong directions, that can harm. There's no issues. Parametrics हम लोग use नहीं करते हॉस्पिटल्स में क्योंकि सर्विसेज की रनिंग बहुत होती है. So if your form is in such a way it is curvilinear or diagonal, I'm not restricting you at all. You must fly. You must learn how to go ahead and do your dreams. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. No restrictions. But मुझे तो services चाहिए. If you can give me services, if you can give me proper planning, उसके ऊपर आप skin जिस तरह का मर्जी कर दो, choice is yours. There is no restriction. Be careful that you don't spoil and make it unsustainable. It is ही बात. Go ahead, do it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, one question came from Venkata.
There are
Can
two
we
questions.
provide? Yeah, two questions are there.
Yeah.
So I'm reading one of them.
Yeah.
Can we provide warm color for the interiors in hospital?
We have to provide soothing colors in the hospital. Warm ho, light ho, dry ho. That all depends on your style, your interiors, your character. It has not to be very harsh on the psyche of the patient. Definitely, we have a lot of colors. We use a lot of colors so that it makes the energy bright. Both are the warm. You push up, I don't know, but we don't need to give red everywhere. So, but definitely it has to be full of colors. But there is nothing wrong in giving warm colors. Should be. But make sure if your hospital is being built in a very area which is 40 to 42 degrees in summer, और उसके अंदर आप लाल रंग दे दोगे तो जरा मुश्किल. Be careful. That's all. Nothing wrong.
So one question came from Sandhya Rao.
Yeah.
How do we implement strategies for therapeutic and healing environment in the hospital?
A therapeutic and aging environment.
Healing.
Healing environment.
Yeah.
One of them I just spoke about colors. Another I spoke about natural light ventilation, greenery. I spoke about article. There are bio walls, there are green walls which are being provided. The whole idea is if it has to be therapeutic, you use the word therapeutic. It means it's like area where you perform a yoga, and it has to be very, very, very calm, very soothing, very nice. So you make sure that you don't provide rooms in such a way that you're looking out on something very, very, very nasty, looking at a bazaar. So you have to plan in a way that when you are a patient, you are being healed by the natural environment also. So this is how you do. This is how you plan. Plan it carefully.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Satvik.
Satvik.
Yes, Satvik Ghosh.
Sir, actually, I have been following you for a long time now. In our third year also, and on your Instagram, I see a lot of posts about like from the NIGPR in Delhi to NIPGR in Delhi to the buildings, the examination buildings in Jammu University. And the thing that always fascinates me about you is that you play a lot of emphasis on the facade design. That's something personally I cannot do in all my projects. Like I always fail to design my facade like as I cannot emphasize on it as an external element. It's just something that comes about it. But for me personally, I just want to know that how do you design your facades, like for anything?
You will and you can design very good facades as all other architects. No question of that. You cannot, you can. The facade comes from the planning of a building. Once your plans are done, then you are trying to make an area which is, you know, facade is like doing a painting. And there are openings, there are windows. So you combine them in a system which is sustainable. You combine them in a system which is integrated, and then you use materials, local materials or any materials, play with form after plan is done, and you come out with something very nice. There's no such thing as there's no secret behind it, Satvik. You start making it, use all the elements and the elevation, use all the light penetration areas, light reduction areas, fins आते हैं, छज्जास होते हैं, windows होती हैं, and then use the materials on top of it. So you learn slowly. It doesn't come in a day, Satvik, but I'm sure all of us know it. We all are architects. And if you have any problem, I'm always there. You can come to me. I will take you personally.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
That's you.
Any more question? Yeah.
Yeah, one question came from Tarun Deep Kaur in the chat box. Sir, as climatically, what should we consider while planning? Is there any restriction that particular room should be in the particular direction?
I explained that. Use the north point and make sure that whichever buildings are areas are unimportant or do not need light, they must be in the southwest. The beds, the ward areas must be in the northwest, southeast direction mostly, so that you get morning light, you get evening light. So there are ward areas are like residences, like bedrooms. So uski planning, uski orientation have to be, climate is the guiding factor. So you guide like that, and all other peripheral areas, they can be on separate areas. So you design with your north point, design with your climate. There's no such thing as which room has to be where. Just the ward area has to be like your bedroom. Now, how will you design a bedroom? Design like that. Simple.
Sir, one last question came from Jikra.
Go ahead.
Taking biophilia or green architecture a good choice as a concept, or will it be too difficult to maintain in the hospital?
It is difficult.
It is difficult, yes.
Don't do any such thing where the attention and the mind of the administration is diverted from the patient care to unnecessary things. Not important. In a hospital, these things are not important. What is important is the patient care. What is important is the direction. So अगर administration के लोग यही काम करते रह जाएंगे, तो वो उनका attention divert हो जाएगा. I feel, don't do it. You have so many things. You have hotels, you have malls, you have office buildings which you will design. Do that there.
That's why, sir, one architect Anil Lal, sir, already written one book, I think.
Yes, sir.
Green is red.
Yes, yes.
Green is red.
Great architect. Very good
Yeah.
architect.
Any more question, Himmat, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Paras.
Paras Tyagi.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please
This
go
is
ahead.
Bharat. Sir, my question to you is, like while I was searching, like I was doing research on this hospital, so I came to a statement and it was saying that art and music can be two things which can make the environment very healing for the patient. So I want to ask your views on this. Like, do you agree with this or not? And if it is a yes, then how can I implement these two things while doing my hospital?
Thank you, Paras. I think I missed out. I missed this point. Thank you for reminding me. Good. Soothing music, soothing art. Art and music is meant to heal the soul. They are meant to calm your mind. Whatever we spoke, उसके ऊपर अगर हम लोग soothing music देते हैं, या there is art forms, they're very important. In my pediatric areas, I've given small motifs for children to get amused. So yes, it's very important. The choice of music, the choice of art is always blending. Corridors can be fully with art. In my eye care center, Chandigarh, all my corridors are given to the artists. All artists come and display their works there. So I missed out on this point. I particularly, my office, my heritage, we use a lot of artwork as a part of art. Not only soothing, it is also environment friendly. It gives work and weightage to many people around us. And we all understand that architecture is all about art. So the more you blend, the better your architecture is. Good? Yes, important.
Thank you, sir.
Any other students who have got some query? Please ask question. Ujjwal Bhardwaj, Arsha Devan, Gautam, Akash, Gayatri, Mohammad Finoz. Anyone? Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Astha is not here, Astha.
Yeah, Akash is there.
Akash Thakur, you want to say something?
Am I audible?
Akash is there.
Yes,
Yes,
Akash.
absolutely.
Okay.
Carry on, please.
Good afternoon, teachers, and good afternoon, Sangeet sir.
Good afternoon, Ji.
Sir, I have one question. Like we all know that if some patient is coming into the hospital, like there's always a mood of panicness and depressing because all we know about results. And if doctor is coming under such conditions, we all know that they are facing sometimes true sorrow or sometimes maybe happiness. But are the architectural points on in the hospital that we can consider so that we can elevate someone's mood, or we just integrate their sorrowness?
We talked of all these things, Akash, and we talked of environment, we talked of green environment, we talked of music, art. Most important besides all this is the direction and the person who is going to help them instantly, guidance. You know, if I know I'm going to the right place and I'm going to be taken care of very soon, my mood is half good as a patient. So if I'm lost and my relatives are lost, I'm on the stretcher, my mind will fear I'm going to die. So it is the immediate approach and care which has to come in the lobby areas, which is important, besides all those things which we have. So पहले जरा उसको admit कर लें, उसकी देखभाल कर लें, उसके बाद the greenery, the music, the art will heal him. First treat him, then heal him. You can't heal him first without treating him. Treat your patient, healing the next. Good question.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Any
Now
other
last
students?
question.
Got
Last
anybody?
question from any student side. No question?
I think they are out of question now. I think they have learned a lot, and the
Yes,
wonderful question they have asked.
They can
Yes.
always
Not
ask.
that, yeah.
Yeah, very intelligent, sir. Very intelligent students. Very good questions, and I'm sure they will do a great job. But they're free to come to
That's what we hope so.
ask me. They can WhatsApp me, Facebook me, whatever. Always welcome.
And that's what I hope so, that your session is really fruitful for them, and they will learn a lot, not only in this project, but maybe in the years to come, in the academic as well as in the profession. This will really help you.
Really.
Because I also learned many things. I mean, step-to-step planning, which you taught. I mean, I was really impressed.
Thank
The
you, sir.
way you were explaining and the way you involved into your presentation. This was really, I mean, this is learning for us also. It's not that only students are learning.
Very
We as
kind.
a teacher also learning
Thank
as to how to teach. I mean, in a very polite and very involved way. This is really helpful for each and everyone. And I hope students they are really blessed the way they have learned things. And it was seeming as if they are just walking down the hospital, and they are seeing each and every nook and part of the hospital. Thank you very much for your, enlightened and wonderful speech and wonderful talk.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nagendra, sir. Thank you, the faculty.
Thank you, dear students.
Thank you, students.
Please, please fill feedback. It is very, very important. Your feedback is very, very important. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Really,
sir.
we gain a lot of knowledge,
Thank you,
and our all budding architects will be take much more advantage. And now you are also the part of our academics. We are in the process for tie up with the industry and architectural firm for
Yes.
individual courses. We can't, sir. PR courses managed by the Council of Architecture, right?
Yes.
So what we are doing, this is this type of opportunity. Really, this is the futuristic approach by our university management or our school management or our dean sir, that we are in the process for tie up or sign MOU with the leading architectural firms like SD Sharma and Associates, and you are the partner architect at that firm, right, sir? So for individual courses, design and some other thing. So now you are our part, sir, and you will guide our third year student and other student also in design and some other courses. Thank
Wonderful.
you very much once again, and
Thank you, sir.
we will again discuss and with our other budding architects, first year or second year students for on the other topic. Thank you very much once again, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Jai
Look
Mata
forward
Di.
for another enlightenment.
Of course.
Yeah.
For another
Thank you.
student.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So thank you all budding architects also, right, Himmat sir?
Yeah, I am now joining my class. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So all students, please, yeah, really, we are very thankful to all students. Today is your off day, and you have already joined for the session. Really, that will be much more. You people will gain the more knowledge in this regards exclusively in your architectural design projects. And my dear students, I want to share with you that very shortly we are in the process for more interaction with our students, and we are going to start some weekly or monthly basis monthly basis interaction with our students exclusively for discussing what should be, we will organize any type of guest lecture and any type of topic. Okay, so that will give you more knowledge for your betterment. Okay, so we are in the process for in the process that you people grow more. Okay, not only in architectural design, although building construction and other services type of courses. What is the services course code in third year? What is the course code of service? Building services course code?
Sir, it's ARC
ARC
313.
ARC 313, in which you people, I think, as per the contents and intents of the syllabus of ARC 313, you people will study about the HVAC, right, and some other, ECBC and some other type of parameters related with that type of thing, right? So we are in the process also to organize some such expert lecture from AC company like Hitachi and Blue Star. I have already discussed with the Blue Star Hitachi people. So shortly we will organize such a practical knowledge, practical based, student based, customized expert lecture exclusively for your betterment. Okay, bye bye. And today is the first day of the Navratra. So we wishing all happy Navratra to all my budding architects. Bye bye. Take care.
Just to add, sir, tomorrow they do have design class. So
Right.
I'm expecting that whatever they had done, please everyone try to incorporate. Sir has given you very good lines, bache, because these are the things you will be using in your design. It was very
Exactly,
fruitful.
exactly.
Those who have listened, I think they might have got a very good idea. So tomorrow, please, we are expecting a discussion, very good discussion. Try to incorporate the ideas given by Sangeet sir. Okay?
Exactly.
Okay, sir.
So,
Thank you and all the best to all of
my
you.
dear students, what suggestion given by your faculty, design faculty, Professor Ravinder Kaur ma'am? You try to utilize whatever you have gained during this lecture. Try to point out something. If you forget something, you go through the video. YouTube is already recorded session. So after the session, you will find all the complete session recorded to with you, right? So you people go through again, watch the particular video and try to point out, note down what is the important point that you people can utilize in your design. That is the important thing. And my dear students, I always say to you people that excellence in any department can be attained only by the labor of a lifetime, and that can't be purchased at a lesser price. So to do easy, right, to do easy what is difficult for other, this is the mark of talent. So you try to give wonderful design, whatever the questions asked by my all budding architects, like parametric design, sustainable design, and different type of things. So really your interaction is also wonderful, and we are hoping that you people have enjoyed the session with renowned architect Sangeet Sharma sir. And being a HOD and being your guardian, this is our responsibility, also responsibility, that our all students groom much more to be acknowledged, globally acknowledged architect in the profession, right? So where you will go, you will treat themselves like a leader. Leadership is very important for the architecture students. Teamwork, leadership, right? So my dear students, thank you once again. And where are you? We are hoping that shortly you people will join physically, but presently, where are you? Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much once again. Bye bye. So now I am ending the session.